Very good morning to all of you. So in today's lecture we'll learn that which of the IDE is going to be suitable for us for developing applications of data science or machine learning. So to begin with, we see that there are so many IDEs available for developing programs of Python. So you have Jupyter Notebook, you have Spider, you have Google Colab, you have DataCamp Workspace, DataSpell, Visual Studio, PyTorch. There are a number of IDs available, and frankly speaking, um, it depends upon your choice and your requirement that which IDE will be suitable for you. But the best practices says that there are three IDEs that are most commonly used, that is Jupyter Notebook, Spider or Google Colab. So basically we'll see the comparison of all these three IDEs. One by one we'll see their features and how they are better or inferior than one another. So we see that Jupyter Notebook and Spider, these are the part of Anaconda Navigator package. So what is Anaconda Navigator? Anaconda Navigator is a set of applications, many application in one umbrella. So you can see once you install Anaconda Navigator, what you have to do, you have to just Google Anaconda Navigator. You will go to the home page of Anaconda Navigator, and based on Windows or Linux or Mac OS, you can install your version. So once you install Anaconda Navigator and you open it, you will get this interface where you will see data spell, CMD, Jupyter Lab, Jupyter Notebook, PowerShell, Qt Console, Spider, Data Lore. These are number of applications which are pre-installed in this Anaconda Navigator. So if you have to install use a Spider, or you have to use Jupyter Notebook, you can install Anaconda Navigator, and using that navigator you can click on this launch button. You can see the launch button is available here, so you can launch it, and Jupyter Notebook will open. So once you click on this launch button, you will see that an interface is opened in a web browser. So clearly it is a web based IDE, web based interface, where you can write your codes. So you see localhost, its port number and tree, you will get this IDE. So where you can write your codes, you can create your folders, you can put your files, you can run, you can execute whatever you want to do with your Python programs, you can do with it. Once you consider Spider, so Spider is a pure IDE, is a window based pure separate IDE. It does not require web browser. It has got rich interface where n number of buttons, options are available. For example, once you open Spider, you will see on the left hand side a coding window where you can write your codes, and once you write your code and you see it is okay, you have to test it, you will click on this execute button. There are some debugging options available, and then the code is okay, then it will be executed and the output will be shown in this particular console at the right hand side. So if you look at this, you will find that it is a very rich IDE that can be used for developing Python programs. And the third one is Google Colab. So Google Colab is basically a feature provided by Google where you can write your codes without installing any of the software. You just need internet connection, and basically this Google Colab is based on Jupyter Notebook only. So what you need to have, you need to have a registered email ID. With help of that email ID you can log in, and then you can use your Google Colab. So let's see what are the features of Spider, Jupyter and Colab, which one is maybe better, which may not be better. So let's go to next slide and see at what are the features available with all these three IDEs. So if you go to Spider, you will find that it is a window based IDE, so you have to install it, you have to open it, and then you have to execute it. Jupyter is a web based IDE, a notebook, but you have to install it separately again. So Jupyter and Spider, you have to install it separately. But in case of Google Colab, you need not install anything. You just need to have a Google email ID where you can log in, and then you can start using Google Colab. So you just put Google Colab in web browser, and you will get the link, and you can log in and you can start your coding. Spider runs on local machine, as well as Jupyter also runs on local machine, but Google Colab, it runs on cloud. So it is very clear that for running applications of Google Cloud, Google Colab, you have to require an internet connection. So without internet connection, you are not able to execute programs using Google Colab. But Spider and Jupyter, you are okay with if you do not have internet connection. But if you want to download, or you have to write some code which requires internet connection, then you have to use it. Spider and Jupyter, they use system RAM, they use system CPU, your storage. But in case of Google Colab, it has Google specified server, which gives you higher RAM and higher processing power, a processing power of GPU and TPU, that is tensor processing unit and graphical processing unit. So you get a high configuration system virtually on cloud. So if you have to run big applications, or applications that requires high level of storage and high level of calculations and memory requirement, you can use Google Colab. But if you have to work on for example, you can say teaching purpose or your learning purpose, you can go with Spider or Jupyter. So in Spider, again, you see all the libraries like pandas, like matplotlib, and etc., that you have to install it. Likewise, you have to do the same in Jupyter. But in Google Colab, the benefit is that all the libraries are pre-installed. Mostly they are pre-installed. So very rarely some of the libraries that you have to install it separately, but mostly the libraries are pre-installed in it. This is one of the advantage of Google Colab. So if you have to work alone, you are working on uh, individual project for your learning purpose, for teaching purpose, means you do not want to share your files so with the team, so you can use Spider and Jupyter. But Google Colab, if you are working in a team, you want to share the resources, you can use Google Colab. So based on this comparison, we go to next slide and see that how um, this Google Colab is going to be beneficial. So in terms of privacy, if you opt out for learning or teaching or small programs, or you are using some sensitive data that you do not want to share with anyone else, you can either use Spider or you can either use Jupyter. But if you are working on team, you want to share the data, then you can use Google Colab. And if you are highly working on highly sensitive data, then you should avoid Google Colab, because it's on cloud. There are always chance of risk when your sensitive data is on internet. Portability, if you are okay to work locally on your system, Spider and Jupyter are most welcome. If you want to file to be shared or can be accessed from anywhere, like you log in with your email ID, you have some laptop on your home, you are working on it, you save the data, later on you go somewhere else, you do not have your laptop, so you can log in on any other PC, you can log in from your email, you can go to your Google Colab, and then you start working from there. So you need not to be dependent on your system, it is cloud based. So from where you want, you have email ID, you have registered Google Colab, you can access from anywhere. So this is the flexibility that is provided by Google Colab. Now in terms of processing, if you have high end configurations, for example, if you have 8 GB or 12 GB RAM, you have 1000 GBs of um, you can say your hard drive or SSD, you can go with Spider or Jupyter. But in case of a professional project that you are working, so where high configuration is required, so your local system is not going to support it, in that case you have to go with Google Colab. And if you are considering, as I discussed earlier, that if you have to work in team, you have to share your resources, you have to share your project data, then you have to use Google. So basically, from my point of view, if you are working on a separate project for your learning purpose, some student or some teacher, you can use Jupyter or Spider. Now in case of Jupyter or Spider, you need to be very clear that Spider takes some time for loading. So initially for setup, once you open the application, you try to open it and it takes some time. So Spider, it is quick, it is fast, it is lightweight. So Jupyter is lightweight, it's fast. So personally I suggest, in place of a Spider you can use Jupyter. But if you are a learner, you have just started programming in Python, you should start with Python, then you should start with Spider, then you should transfer to Jupyter, because Spider provides you good capability of debugging. For example, if you are writing some code, let's have an example of this Google Colab. For example, suppose I am trying to write a program in Spider IDE. Here, if I am trying to type something, for example, if I type PR and I press Control and space, so if I press Control and space, so it will provide me the help that what I have to do with this code. So for example, let's see, I am trying to type print and I pressed control space, so this ID is going to help me out that with the syntaxes. So you can see in print I have not typed all the letters of print, I just type PRI and press control space, and it is showing me the options that the parameter that I can provide with print. So I write it and then I put the button, and you see that opening and closing small brackets are available with it, parentheses are available with it. Once I press single quote, it is double quotes, it's automatically adding the ending quotes. So these are some of the assistance provided by this Spider IDE. But in case of this you see Jupyter, you have to be patient, you have to know the codes, you have to know the syntax. But in case of Spider, for beginner, I will suggest that you start with a Spider, and once you are aware of the codes, aware of the syntaxes, then you should go with Jupyter. And once you are running some professional project where you need higher amount of data, higher amount of configuration, you should go with Google Colab. So as of now, thank you so much. I hope this video will help you to decide which tool you are going to use for your Python development. Thank you so much. We'll meet you for next video very soon. Thank you.